Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading for the week of May 15th. We're just going to jump right in here. And in your first row for your current general energies, you have this full moon in Pisces. It says forgive on it. And you literally have the Three of Swords, which is the card of forgiveness. The Three of Swords, those three swords are in your heart. So it can represent needing to forgive yourself, or it can represent needing to forgive a person. You know, as I always say, we don't have to forgive a person directly. We can just say that we forgive them so that we can move on, right? And we don't have to, like I said, we don't have to like go to that person and say it. We can just do it in our own heart. And that looks to be, you know, there could be like a heartbreak, or there could have been like a lying, cheating, stealing situation, or someone who was inconsistent in your life. And, you know, again, I would say that forgiveness could be a very important thing for you at this time. I would say if it's not forgiveness, then this could just be needing to go through a healing. So this could literally be physically, and here we go, we have the star. So I definitely feel that you've been through a tower moment or something difficult or challenging in regards to probably another person. But again, if it's not another person, it could just be like going through a healing or needing to recover or something like that. So, you know, I definitely feel it's time to open up. And I do feel like this reading is saying, you know, it's not like the easiest reading. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, right? But there are some good things showing up here. This last row here is meant to represent the good stuff, so it doesn't matter what shows up here. It's going to be good no matter what. And you do have the Five of Swords, which is like, you know, kind of in the good stuff, could say that you're kind of overcoming a situation, right? But with the World here, I definitely feel that there was an ending. The World is, of course, a good card, but, you know, the World can definitely represent ending a cycle, or just bringing something to an end. It is literally the last card in the major arcana. So after the World, we start back all over again as the Fool. So, you know, the whole point of the tarot is to follow the Fool's journey. We go from the Fool to the World, and then we just start all over again as the Fool. So, you know, for a lot of you, and this could be like a difficult ending that you've been through recently, over the recent past. Again, whenever I have the star, even if the tower doesn't show up, it doesn't matter. To me, when the star shows up, it probably suggests that you've experienced a tower moment in the recent past. Some sort of loss here, you know, could be a breakup or a difficult separation. Could also be health as well. I would say that the good news with the Three of Swords is that it is meant to represent something temporary. So it is definitely something that does not last forever. And I feel for a lot of you, this could represent you needing to heal from something, and also to realize that you're not going to be stuck forever. You also have the moon. The moon represents a temporary period of time. The moon comes up, and then guess what? Surprise, surprise, the moon goes down and then the sun comes up, right? So the moon kind of suggests a period of time that I always call a moon period, where we're going through darkness, we're not sure the direction we're going in life, but we need to keep pushing forward anyway, because there are some mountains in the background here, and mountains in the tarot represent success or an achievement. So I feel like there definitely could be some sort of achievement coming in for you here. Let's see. With the World card, you have the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is about being bold, being assertive, really going towards your happiness. So there might be a sad situation that you've experienced here, you know, in your life, but it could also say that, you know, it's time to like pick yourself up and start pushing forward and start, you know, looking for something new. With the Three of Swords, you have the Hangman, definitely something that's keeping you stuck. Again, I'm not calling you out here or anything like that, Sagittarius, but I get that feeling of like needing to move past whatever this is, because I feel like it could be holding you back or preventing you from, you know, having better experiences, right? It's like I've read for a lot of people over the years, and, you know, I've had many times where people, I'll be reading for them, and maybe they broke up with someone 6 months ago or went through a breakup, and they still keep talking about it and still keep focusing on it. I'm like, well, it's like regardless of what happens, like whether or not this person comes back or whether or not you move on, it's like if you keep telling the same old story, then you're going to keep living the same old story. So eventually, we have to stop telling the story. We have to change our story in some way. And I feel like that's what this is saying. It's like saying, like, okay, you've been through enough, right? you've experienced the sadness enough, and now it's time to like pick yourself up, right? With the moon, you have the Three of Cups. There you go. Three of Cups is like a celebration, joy. It can also represent other people helping you out. Obviously, what I would say here is going this way. You have the courthouse. So some of you could be dealing with a court situation involving family, like a divorce or, child custody or something like that. And so obviously you can't just leave that situation, right? But I kind of feel like it's, regardless of what it is, I feel like you've been dealing with something for a long time with that courthouse card, and it might not even be legal. For whatever reason, just like intuitively, I'm just getting in my head that you've been dealing with something for a long time. That's what that's representing. And I feel like whatever that is about to come to an end, but like in a good way, not in a bad way. You have this anchor card that says stability and security. You also have this eye that says envy and protection. I feel like you are protected, at this time. And I really feel you need to focus on your own stability at this time as well. So, really that's all I'm getting here. You have the Five of Cups, Five of Pentacles, and the Knight of Wands showing up here. This would be a very inconsistent energy. Again, I guess the good news is that you have the Five of Cups here. The Five of Cups, the Eight of Cups going this way. This, and also going this way to the Five of Swords, really tells me that you are cutting things out of your life. Like, I feel like you're cutting anything out that has held you back or anything that has prevented your success. It really looks to me like you're actually moving on from it finally. So this would suggest that you finally healed and like you are moving on. Even going this way, Two of Pentacles is like, how much energy can you give something? It's like spinning plates. He's got a lot going on. And it's like you can only spin so many plates. And so I kind of get this energy here of you releasing the past for sure. With the Five of Cups, he's crying over spilt milk or spilt wine here. And it represents the fact that he's lost his taste for wine. But there's something new behind him in these two cups, something better. Again, the Five of Cups always reminds me of, really, and this is what the Five of Cups means as well. It's like he is grieving the loss of something that he no longer enjoys. That's like the trick with the Five of Cups, is that you could be grieving the loss of something that just doesn't even satisfy you anymore. Well, it doesn't matter if it's a person, a place, or a thing. He kind of is grieving the loss of something, but if he were just to turn around, he would see something much better behind him because he gets the bridge and the castle over here. So again, the solution to the Five of Cups is to be grateful for what you do have. Once you're grateful, then you see the bridge and the castle. It like opens up a whole new world of opportunities for you when you choose to be grateful. With the Five of Pentacles here, again, I feel like some of you feel you're lacking the resources. I'm not going to say that you aren't either. You might be lacking the resources necessary to be successful. But the Five of Pentacles is about kind of, pulling yourself out of the cold. It's a card that says, do not call attention to your weaknesses. This guy right here, he has a bell around his neck. And back in the day, lepers used to have to wear bells around their neck so people would know when they were coming down the street. And so it basically says, focus on your strengths. Do not call attention to your weaknesses. You also have the Knight of Wands as well. I really feel this is like a shakeout, is what I feel like saying. Like, if you're in this period, it's kind of weird because I'm like, some of you might be feeling fine this week. It's like not the best reading, although it's not terrible either. It could be a lot worse. I'm wondering if you're just healing from a difficult period of time, right? But I almost get that feeling of a shakeout where it's like you're shaking out things that just no longer serve you. I hope that makes sense. It's like the best way I can verbalize what I feel here. It's like you're kind of shaking off bad energy or things that are just weak in the first place, and I kind of get that energy here. So let's dig into this, Sagittarius, and let's see where this is going for you. With the Five of Cups, you have the Devil. Every single person has had the Devil this week, basically. So I've been saying to everyone that I keep getting the word influence on the Devil, like toxic influence, or, it's like sometimes I think people have good intentions, right? But they say things that are just stupid, right? It's like I've had businesses since I was 16 years old. It's like I remember my grandfather, it's like when I started this YouTube channel, right? He was always like, in a very nice way, he was always like, when are you going to get a real job? But I was making way more than he ever had in his entire life. So, it's like, I have better than a real job. I'm my own boss, So it's like, I've never gotten good advice from people who I see as influential that have never done something that I'm doing. So, I always say, like, don't take advice from people who have never done something that you're doing, right? It's like, they don't know what they're talking about. I love my grandfather, right? But, at the same time, he had no clue what he was talking about at that time. So, it's like, I would be careful of those influences. And again, he was just trying to protect me, because in his mind, you go to work, you go to work for the man for the rest of your life, and you work your way from the bottom to the top. But not me. I just start at the top, right? And it's just much easier that way. So I kind of get that feeling here, where it's like, don't allow people to influence you. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is like being spoiled for choice. So I feel like there are a lot of better opportunities. And well, I'll just show you here. Going this way, this is a much better opportunity. This right here sucks. Like all this right here, right? We don't want any of that. We don't want a repeat story. We want to start at the top. That's what this reading is saying. I said that and I was like, damn, that is a perfect analogy for Sagittarius's reading. It's like, you don't have to start at the bottom. Just start at the top, right? With the Knight of Wands, you have the Five of Cups. We already know. Again, I would be careful of any inconsistent energy that you've already healed from. So especially if you have some like past bozo who's trying to pop back up in your life, you need to say, no, get out of here. If you're, thinking about doing anything from the past, or if you're thinking about making a sacrifice, as in, it's like maybe you're having a hard time, maybe you're looking for a new job and you're about to give up. I really feel this is saying, like, don't give up. You're about to have a much better opportunity coming in for you here. The other thing is, again, sometimes I feel that what I mean by starting at the top is it's like maybe you're having a hard time getting a job, and this is definitely popping into my head. And sometimes I feel like we have a hard time finding a job, for example, because maybe the universe is like, no, I want you to try something harder, So I kind of get that here, where if you're like having a hard time finding a job, I think the universe is like saying, no, I want you to get something like a leadership position, or something that's up here, or maybe something you're not qualified for. Like I really feel there's like a better opportunity, but you could be selling yourself short, right? It's like I've worked with a lot of people on YouTube, and it's like I see this all the time. Like I've worked with I don't know what it is, but like several people that I've worked with, it's like I've given them things that they can do that all the top YouTubers do, right? And all the big people do, that work. And I've had several people that say to me, like, oh, I'm going to start down here, basically the bottom, and work my way up to doing those things that the big people do. I'm like, no, just start doing the good stuff right now, right? And I get that feeling from your reading, where it's like saying, you don't have to start at the bottom, start at the top, plain and simple. Next, you have the courthouse in this family room. No doubt about it. I mean, some of you could be going through an extended divorce or some sort of situation. Nine of Swords is a never-ending nightmare. So again, like I said, if you're going through that, you already obviously know about it. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it either. It probably isn't fun, of course, but you have the Star, which tells me that you will be healing from this situation shortly. For others, I feel like you need to see that you can have a breakthrough. You have the Nine of Swords, the Eight of Cups, and the Star. Nine of Swords, again, is a never-ending nightmare, but Nine of Swords doesn't say, hey, like, just sit there in the nightmare. Nine of Swords is my card that says you can be the bug or the windshield. There's a person right here hitting another person with a sword. It basically says you can be the person getting hit by a sword, or you can be the one doing the hitting with a sword, right? So, you want to be the immovable force. You want to be the windshield. How can you do that in this reading if you are in a stuck situation? Your answer is not necessarily a good answer, but it is the answer. And it's the Eight of Cups, to walk away. So it's like maybe you have a job that sucks, and you might be saying, Chris, I can't just walk away. Well, yeah, that's true, but I would start looking for something else. I would look to improve your situation. Again, I'm not like trying to call anyone out here, but I really feel this reading is saying, and I don't think it is calling you out anyway, but I do feel like it's saying, like, don't just stay stuck suffering if you are suffering. Again, I don't think all of you are, but definitely I feel this is for somebody out there that could be in a situation that is less than ideal. And I feel like this is saying you might think that there aren't ways to get out of it, but there are. So, definitely time to make a change. You have the Star, which I'm very happy to see the Star, because I feel that the Star is kind of like saying, things are improving. You are going through a healing, or you will be very shortly, and things are getting better. So, regardless of what is happening at the beginning of this reading, I feel for a lot of you, you are kind of going through this healing situation. With the Nine of Swords, you have the High Priestess. You need to trust your intuition. The problem with the High Priestess is that she represents unlimited potential, and again, she represents all the things that everybody says, which is intuition, trusting your intuition, mystery, secrets, balance as well. But really, she represents unlimited potential. But the problem with potential is just potential. So you have to put the work in to make something that has potential successful. And I kind of get that here, where it's like there could be a new opportunity, but coming in for you, but you have to put the work in. With the Eight of Cups, you have the King of Wands. Like, whatever you're going through is meant to make you stronger. Those are the words that I'm getting here with the King of Wands. The King of Wands, very bold, assertive. He really makes things happen in his life. You also have the King and Queen of Wands, so I do feel there could be like new love coming in for you as well if you're looking for love. With the Star, you have the Eight of Cups. Yeah, we already know that you're walking away from things that no longer serve you. The other thing that I would say is, like, again, for some of you, I literally feel this reading, it's like it's bad on the surface, although I don't really feel like it's bad. I just think it's annoying, right? It's probably you're going through something that you've been going through for a while, right? And so, like, not going to sugarcoat it, but again, at the same time, I feel like this reading is saying, like, you have a choice to, walk away from something and, create a healing, or you have a choice to walk towards fulfillment. I personally think the Eight of Cups is a good card because he's normally walking towards the Nine of Cups. It's like, whatever you're walking away from, clearly you're going to be very happy that you walked away from it in the future. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Haze card. And this is from the Threads of Fate Empyrean Oracle. It's like an animated card like this, holographic, whatever you want to call it. And full disclosure, I have a business relationship with Threads of Fate, but they're launching 3 awesome new decks down below. You can check those out on Kickstarter, and they're almost fully funded. And if not, they might be fully funded at the time of you watching this, but definitely a really awesome project, so check it out. But again, this card showing up in the good stuff, haze, it's like cloudiness, but I feel like you're finally seeing things clearly. Maybe you're understanding, like for some of you, you've already gone through this, you've already healed, you have the Star card. Like I said, you already went through the Tower moment, and now you're coming out the other side. And this is kind of like saying to me that maybe you're finally like getting through it, or you finally are through it. And you're kind of like seeing things clearly, like why you had to go through something that was extremely difficult. You have the Two of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, and the Five of Swords. Again, this is going to be good no matter what. So I do feel that if maybe you went through a breakup like this year or like at the end of last year, feels very recent to me. And, I feel like this person could have done you really dirty. But at this point, I feel like there's no chance in them getting back into your life. So, I feel like you've fully kind of made the full healing here. For others, again, this represents the good stuff, so I feel like there's something you want to accomplish, which we'll talk about here in just a second. And I feel like the Five of Swords saying, like, now is the time to take risk because you will be successful. You have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands says, do not give up. Again, I also very specifically get a feeling here that you do not want to go back to the past at all. Again, not telling you what to do. Trust me, I've had plenty of people over the years that are like, how dare you say I don't go back to this person that cheated on me 900 times and was, raging alcoholic. I'm like, I don't know. You do you. Go for it. Enjoy it, right? And see what happens. Those people always come back to me, and they're always like, oh my God, you were right. Yes. Like, yeah. Again, I don't know. Whatever. I'm not going to say that I was right, but I was right. And what I would say here is that, again, I feel like this is very specifically saying, well, it doesn't matter if it's a person, a job, a business, whatever. I feel like you are moving forward now at this time, and I feel like you have like either healed something, gotten out of something, and you need to keep pushing forward is what this is saying. I also feel it's saying do not settle. Like if you are working on a business that hasn't been working, I feel like this is saying keep pushing. You're very, very close, and I feel like you're about to find success. You have the Two of Pentacles. Definitely time to create balance. Two of Pentacles, like work hard, play hard. So, I feel like it's really important that you balance your energies. Again, sometimes when I see stuck energy, like everything that's going on here, to me, it says you could be taking things too seriously. And again, this is coming from experience. I had a major business failure, very successful business when I was like 21, 22. I had a major business failure at that age. I literally did nothing for like 4 years, right? I sat in my room, I just stewed and like was angry and like all this other stuff, believe it or not, right? And so it's like I've lived it, and I didn't do anything except be angry, right? Just like, and I'm not saying you're angry, but this was my life right here. And, it wasn't until, I always say that really it wasn't until I started walking. I started walking, and I'm convinced that it got my energy moving forward. But it's like I literally was punishing myself and trying to force things to work, and nothing worked. And again, it wasn't until I got out of my head, that's like what changed everything. So I'm a big fan of, like, if you are in stuck mode right now, which some of you maybe are, it's like doing something to get the energy moving forward. It will get you out of it. And again, trust me, I get it. I always say the last thing I wanted during that time was for someone to tell me what to do because I was angry, right? So I get it if that's where you're at. And the only thing that I can say is that maybe someday if you feel like going for a walk, do it because it'll probably get you unstuck. With the Two of Pentacles, you have the Queen of Pentacles. I really feel your resources are increasing here. So this could be, making work easier, or you could just be making more money, which is kind of like making things easier for you. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands, card of success, of course, card of adventure as well. It's like there are new adventures coming in for you. And with the Five of Swords, you have the Star. Yes. See, this is the only thing that makes me feel good about this reading, is that the Star has come up twice now. So it's like, clearly, you have been through something challenging, and now you are healing, Sagittarius. So I don't even think it's that bad of a reading. I think that what you have been through maybe is very challenging, but it's like now you're kind of like overcoming it. And all these cards are amazing. We're going to pull 5 main themes. You have this rainbow card. It says the most difficult part of a situation is over. Like, the whole entire reading. It seems difficult, but it really isn't. I feel like it's just like the hangover from all the difficulties. You have this throne card. It says position of authority. Literally, I said this the whole entire time. You need to start from the top and just then keep going up from there. So start at the top here, Sagittarius. You have this chain card. It says chain of events will affect your life. Yeah, I feel like there's like kind of like a positive chain of events with the Star coming up twice. So keep moving forward. You have this eagle. It says triumph over obstacles, literally. So I feel like you are overcoming these obstacles. For some of you, I'm wondering if it's like a good reading. And again, you're all different, but I'm wondering if this is saying that, it's like you almost, because of what you've been through, it's like you almost don't believe that things can get better, right? You have this hand card. It says in need of help, assistance, or guidance. And, again, don't be afraid to ask people for help, especially if you're building something. Or if you're trying to overcome something, it could solve your problems very quickly. But pretty interesting reading. Again, I would start at the top here. I think that's, I hope that makes sense, but looks pretty interesting, I'll say. So you'll have to let me know. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.